hires the worst people, and I hope he does. I mean, he's my president now, so I hope he does a much better job. But it was one of the knocks on him, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I phrase it as, I like it when I didn't know the postmaster general's name, but yeah, when he put a coal executive in charge of the EPA, I'm like, come on.
Did you hear him talk about that to Rogan?
No, tell me more. Am I
He was talking about how how overwhelming it was when he just first started governing. He's like, they need they bring you these lists of 1,000 positions that need filling now, and I've never heard of any of these people. So I've just got to take the advice of the people around me. What do you think about? Was it Bill Stevenson? What do you think about him? You don't want Bill. No. Pick Gil. You know, and they're guiding him through, and he's just clicking names at random. So I think this time he does know a lot more. He's done it for a while.
Transition team was a mess. He barely had a transition team because I don't think he expected to win in 16. Nope. So Chris Christie was leading it, and then he fired Chris Christie while leading it a few weeks in. So then they had this sort of change in direction, and they got a lot of bad people.
That is the biggest fear with Trump, is that he wittingly or unwittingly surrounds himself with hawkish pro-war neocons again, and then is hamstrung in trying to get out of foreign conflicts or make us more protectionist or return manufacturing or whatever. Because if he brings a bunch of free trade, treat America like an economy instead of a nation, people, that's what's going to happen again. And so that is my biggest fear, is that I see who he's putting in all these positions, and it's just status quo neocons.
Yeah,
I do not want to see that.
I think they're going to have a better grasp of it this time from beginning to end.
He should be better at everything this time around,
for sure.
And I mean, some people wearing their blue t-shirts are going to say, I didn't do this on purpose, are going to be like, oh, better at everything is not a good thing. He's just going to be more effective at implementing what they don't like. But I'm hoping for the best. I
almost wore a MAGA hat.
You almost wore one?
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny. Taylor, let's talk about Trump's personality and how the next months are going to unfold, because there's the transition of power, which can either be a very elegant, graceful thing, or a really shit show, embarrassment kind of thing where someone shows their ass. And I'm wondering which is it's going to be. I remember when George W. Was voted, when his term was up, and they came in and they had torn all the W's off the keyboards. I wonder if there's going to be shenanigans like that. I can't remember who it was. I think whenever George W. took over for the Clintons, I think they made a comment about giving the place a good steam cleaning, because it was filthy from the Clintons, I'm hoping to see a little bit of that from Trump, honestly. I just can't see him being the bigger man ever. So and Biden can't defend himself anymore.
What are you talking about, Jack?
He convinces Biden. He's like, no, Biden, you won. Stop! Don't tell him that.
Don't tell him that. That's rude.
He'll believe you.
I wanted him to go out there when he was doing the concession speech today, where he's like, I called Donald Trump and congratulated him. I wanted him to be like, this is all your guys' fault. You betrayed me. You stabbed me in the back, and you replaced me by some Indian lady nobody even liked. And look at you now. Old Joe here isn't here to save you. That would be so funny.
I'm gonna hop on my bike and ride off into the sunset, and then he struggles to hop on a bike.
They said you gotta pick a black or brown woman to be your vice president. I said that's not even legal. I said we got laws against that, Jack.
I bet he wishes he hadn't put that hat on now.
Oh, dude, I like the theory that Biden was so pissed he was actively being shitty towards the Harris campaign.
I saw that meme. It was like, Mr. President, did you know when you called Trump supporters garbage that it would actively hurt Kamala's campaign? And he turns around and goes, just grins and smiles. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a meme of that too, where it's Donald and Joe on the phone, and Joe's like, the election's yours, Donald. We're going to make sure these backstabbers don't get what they want.
I can't believe he fucking won again.
Dude.
My favorite part about him winning is how upset it makes people that I find to be annoying and just awful people. Like when I go to CNN and I see how upset they are, that to me is my favorite part. I still worry about that man's ability to govern the fucking country, and I worry about who's going to put in all those positions of power. And it sounds good.
I liked it when I didn't know the Postmaster General's name.
Didn't need to know. Didn't need to
know. It was just sort of working in the background.
It would get taken care of. Someone important would get that. A guy who loves the mail would for sure.
It wasn't some guy who's like, let's get rid of all the mail sorting machines before the election.
Stamps are giving people autism. Stop licking the stamps, people. Like that guy, the Postmaster General.
We'll see. Are
we going to get some early?
I'm excited.
Pardons?
Yeah, I would say
this is the perfect storm for fascism. They did it themselves from the persecution/prosecution scenario they went through, and then it has to go before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court comes down and says, "Oh, actually, really, anything the president does in his official duties is kind of free to do it," And now he's the president again. And while pardoning himself is a weird legal quandary, I don't think that he can pardon himself. What he can do is tell his attorney general, "Hey, drop them charges, bro."
Mm-hmm.
Got me.
I don't have any fear whatsoever that he's going to be some crazy fascist. I think that's fanciful, but I do have fear that he's going to surround himself with neocons again, who are very pro-war and pro-intervention. And even if they can't get him to escalate these conflicts, they will bog him down long enough to keep funding it and just try and keep it grinding. And so I don't want those sort of establishment Republican hacks having nearly as much say in his administration as they did last time.
Think we're going to have the rainbow colors next year on the White House? I love when they do that.
No, I don't think we're doing that.
I love
we're shutting it down. We're not doing that gay shit anymore.
I wanted to know if Trump could pardon himself. I Googled it. The legality is unclear, so I still don't know.
I would think that isn't legal.
The scholars come down 50-50 on that one. And
it's like cheating in Magic the Gathering with an infinite combo or something like this. It just doesn't.
I pardon myself and I kill you, and I pardon myself and I kill your brother, and I pardon myself and I kill your wife. Playing those cards back to back. You can't stack pardon cards infinitely. Yeah. Yes, I can. I have infinite pardon cards.
Yeah. Honestly, some messaging the Democrats really need to get away from at this point is calling everyone they dislike a Nazi.
Hitler.
Because that's clearly not resonating with people.
Those people haven't seen Schindler's List. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I mean that sincerely, not just as a silly joke or an aside. Comparing Trump to Hitler is so silly. Hitler was a bad guy.
Hitler was a bad dude. Dude, this Hitler fella, the more I learn about him, the more I don't care for him.
Look, Hitler was a real rascal. You don't even know.
That's
he was
hilarious guy to be like, whoa, you guys know about this?
I'm stuck. When Trump gets at the rally and says, these immigrants, they're vermin. They're poisoning the blood of our country. You're like, holy smokes, that's a Hitler quote. How do you not mention that comparison?
When he's saying illegals are wrecking the country, I think
I said what he said. Yeah, I didn't
you didn't phrase it exactly the way he did. So the vermin part didn't bother me. It was kind of weird that whatever phraseology he used about poisoning the blood of the country or whatever is Nazi ideological phrasing. Didn't like hearing that little coincidence happen. His speechwriters messed up. Clearly.
Yeah, I'm sure that was on the
not sure why he said that exact quote of Hitler there.
But that's going to be a net win for him because illegal immigration is wildly unpopular and securing the border is popular. And people who live in small towns that are having 20,000 Haitians dropped on them, they hate that. People don't like that.
Yeah, I see. You can call him a fascist, or you can say that he has fascist leanings or fascist policies or fascist ideals or ideas. But I don't see anything that he's ever done as inherently, I want to say inherently racist. The Muslim ban is almost definitively racist, but it depends on your definition because he didn't mean brown people. He meant people that are radical Islamists who
here's the quote, by the way, the actual quote. Thank you, Zach. We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The one I was talking about was stand by. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, Asia, all over the world. The blood of America is being poisoned. Then,
yeah, it's an interesting little ditty there, but so
dude, as long as he handles the border and the illegal immigration problem.
But the point was, I don't think he hasn't massacred any Jews yet, so I just don't think he's Hitler. He hasn't overthrown our government and established himself as a Führer yet, or even tried to. So I wouldn't. Well, I mean, little January 6th, he this or that, the other. It wasn't like he tried to become Führer on January 6th. He tried to illegally become president.
They tried to say for years that he was going to start World War III. Do you remember?
Yeah, we know he's not going to do that.
And now he gets guff for being too anti-intervention.
Well, that's not what he gets the guff for. If we're being honest, it's usually for the awful things.
I haven't heard him criticized for being too anti-intervention, unless you're watching.
Well, they don't want him to pull out of Russia. Ukraine.
It's like the establishment Republicans are like, he wants to abandon our allies in Ukraine. He doesn't want to give infinity dollars to Israel forever, even though they're our greatest ally. And it's like, yeah, good. That's not. I don't want him to.
Dude, you got to listen to the newest Joe Rogan. They start making fun of Lindsey Graham. Joe Rogan does a very good Lindsey Graham impression.
Does he really?
Yes, he does. And a pretty good Barack Obama. But he was making fun of Lindsey Graham being gay and his pearl clutching.
He's so fucking gay.
I think he said something about Lindsey Graham would be his own first lady or something.
we're getting rid of the gay shit, and we're starting with old Lindsey Graham. This absolute homosexual. This queer. Convincing people he fucks women and he likes pussy. I showed him a picture of a pussy once. He vomited. He hated it.
I don't care that he's gay. I just think that he's just a kind of a war hawk, and he seems kind of shitty at times. I don't know much about his like day-to-day policy.
He's a fake natty. I don't care that he's on steroids. I care that he's a fake natty.
He's a fake.
Oh, that he's like hot.
But it's gay, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, does he go around bragging about getting pussy though?
Well, this reminds me of when I was a young man. When I would often find myself deep in a pussy, and you know how it is, friends. It's gross, but you get through it. It's terrible. We hate it, but we do it because we love them and because we need to get elected. And that guy is such a snake. I don't like him.
He's a hawk's hawk. I agree with him on Ukraine, which makes me wonder about me. But he has never seen a conflict he didn't like.
Yeah, it's him and the Cheneys are just any and all wars. We need more. Have you ever seen the meme? Zach pulled this poorly drawn Wojak, like a fake Republican called Holden Bloodfeast, and it's an old guy, and it says 112 years old. The only thing he wants is to see burning flesh in Iran. Please let me burn it. Let me bomb it. Single issue voter, respected bipartisan.
They've wanted to bomb Iran.
Yeah, Holden Bloodfeast. This is such a funny name. 118 years old. Please, God, just let us nuke Iran. Nothing else matters. I'll do anything, please. I just want to see burning flesh one more time, last time before I die. Respectable bipartisan.